your quarterback, and they let Tyreek Hill go. It wasn't the best thing. It was painful. So we saw last year, they probably got very, very lucky to win another Super Bowl. But you got it.
That's what I'm going to say.
You can't make a wide receiver. I mean, okay.
Dak's all right, but I'm more worried about the guy throwing the. He's a good quarterback, but
so is that?
I'd rather have an arm than you can find guys who can run and catch. You can't always find the immaculate arms. Or the minds.
And the Chiefs have done this since they signed Patrick Mahomes, that giant contract, have been able to fill in. Now, we'll probably talk more about this tomorrow when you're paying your center, making him the highest paid center in the NFL and comparative with guard pay, and then the centers were kind of like on. So we'll see if the spending spree is going to start coming up. And then you look at the way the Chiefs played in the preseason. Their game last Thursday night, it showed that, their guys aren't that good. Their backup guys are not that good, and they're going to have to probably rely on some. Hopefully their draft class comes in. Anyway, good luck with Dallas on that. But they've got C.D. Lamb signed. And you hear people say, well, they need to sign him. That's dumb. Okay.
Their biggest problem is Jerry Jones, in my opinion.
Why? Why?
Because he's still trying to be general manager as the owner. When's the last?
Yeah, you're right, because he signed him, and plus he still had a year left on his contract. Meanwhile, the Chiefs go to the garbage heap again and signed Juju Smith-Schuster, another guy who signed a free agent contract with New England. Then he got cut. And now he's back with Kansas City. I like that pick. He had a pretty good year 2 years ago. 78 passes, 933 yards, 3 touchdowns. Helped the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And he caught 7 passes for 53 yards in that win over the Eagles.
The formula is you've got a guy who can throw, cool. He's going to hit whoever's open. When you got 5 guys who can get open because they're all at least average versus, hey, we got one guy, we're probably going to try to throw it to him a bunch. Don't double team him. Don't cover him over the top. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I know that having 5 pretty decent guys is better than having one really good guy, especially when you got a guy that can find the pretty good guys.
Kadarius Toney was seen trying to thumb a ride out on 435.
Don't you feel like you could go play for the Kansas City Chiefs because the other 4 guys are going to take the defense away and leave poor little Mike? I will catch the ball if Patrick Mahomes finds me. And that's all. That's 8 yards a pop.
Just go downfield and turn around.
Yeah.
What I don't think it's
quite that easy, but.
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's what you see Ian Premer.
Well, he's
6'6". He just runs down, turns around. Dax throws him the ball, jumps up, grabs it.
Well, but, okay. He is 6'6". That helps.
Okay, real quick here. Deion Sanders, he's getting bashed a little bit for this. He banned a reporter from asking questions at Colorado Buffalo football-related events for what he deemed as pessimistic coverage.
Did you say the Kremlin or Colorado? Well, there's the hallmark of the U.S. Constitution, Steve, is the First Amendment, which guarantees a right to free press.
Unless it's supposed to be on Facebook and it concerns COVID information, but we won't go down that road today. Let's see, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay.
This is a sports show, not a political show.
I'm just saying, okay.
So I get
they're not going to do anything about it. I mean, how many 4-8 coaches get on the cover of Sports Illustrated? They're getting all kinds of publicity. We're going to go, Deion, you need to let this guy in and talk about it.
It's the same with Bill Belichick, the guy at the San Antonio Spurs. They're obligated to talk to the press, so they play their little games where they don't answer questions. Yeah. But I don't think they've ever banned anybody. To outright ban somebody, it's a little frightening. Deion, if you don't like the game, get out the game. There's people that would love to be a Big 12 head football coach for getting paid millions of dollars.
Well,
you can't take the heat.
I don't think. How long can he keep that the positive things going on? What's the positive spin when they lose to North Dakota State on Thursday night?
Hey, don't get carried. You're going to get banned.
Has Mike?
No, North Carolina State. Who's going to be favored in that game? Do you think?
North Dakota State and CU?
Yeah,
CU because they're a Power 5 school. But
correct.
who am
But
I
North
gonna-
Dakota State,
Right.
you want...
as Mike
I'm glad
Rice...
KU's not playing North Dakota State. I'm glad K-State's not playing North Dakota State in their opener.
And he could also use this platform. I don't know. I didn't read the guy's story. There's one thing. There's a negative opinion. Was it based on fact? Was it based on provable fact? Use your platform to take that guy to town if he's factually inaccurate. As a reporter, he should have his facts straight. But if it's just an opinion you don't like, well, welcome to adulthood.
Well, Deion Sanders, he was yesterday promoting the fact they've gone into an agreement with a bank in the Boulder area that they're going to put in $2,121 in the bank accounts of each of the children of players on the football team.
And if that is factually accurate, because it seems not random at all, it seems probably that
What
if you if you don't like the guy reporting it, don't do it.
Well, the reporter was Mike Kliss, correct? He's a longtime Denver. He was there when John Denver got there. They came together, John Elway, sorry. Elway and Mike Kliss came to Denver the same time in 1983, so he's been around Denver a long time. And as also somebody else said, you know, the Denver Post, what's his face, the big guy, I lost his name, Dion. He needs the Denver Post more than the Denver Post needs him.
Well, we'll see. Heather Dinich, ESPN reporter,
Good
wasn't
for
very
her.
happy with that
Sticking
either.
up.
So Paul Feinbaum also had some interesting comments. So there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours. Cole Rife coming in to talk Cardinal football. Megan Bessaker and Phoebe Reyes in to talk Barton volleyball, and Mike Corson going on the
Prowl!
We'll be talking with Lyles Lashley. It's Sports Day, the Tuesday show on KVGB.
Smart stays on the road. That's why it's in your engine. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils maintain 80% of their viscosity throughout the drain interval for superior engine performance across extreme temperatures. That horizon looks good with the competition behind you. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor, today.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with a low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
He's the voice of the Barton Cougars and the Hoisington Football Cardinals. And back in the day, he could play a mean game of darts. It's Cole Rife time on Sports Day.
Cole Rife joins us now to talk Cardinal football today, a day after joining me to watch the, what are they called?
They're the Dragons.
The Dragons.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things with that. So grandson Parker playing on the same team again as Fitz, and I hope their record's better than the T-ball season was. But they're back together again, which is they need to separate those two. There's just lack of concentration there. So Fitz wants he says we're the Blue Dragons.
Well, yeah, they're the Dragons, which I don't even know how they came to that conclusion that that was going to be the team name. But, you know, obviously Fitz associates that, and he's gone to enough Barton games that he's aware of, you know, the Hutchinson Dragons, and then he went to the, you know, the national champion. He went to the national championship game, so he got to go to Hutch, and, you know, you see the Dragon on the center court and whatnot. So yeah, that's how he associates Dragons is with Hutchinson.
Well, I like the way you did it. I said no.
Well, usually it's kind of like, you know, hey, we want to beat the Dragons, but yeah, last night was concerning because he kind of seemed excited that they were the Dragons. I was like, no. You just you're a rec team. You're a GB rec team.
And they're orange, I think.
Yeah, let's hope so. If they come out in blue or red, we're going to be even bigger issues.
Okay, Hoiston Cardinal football, here we go. They'll be in Great Bend for the Jamboree on Friday night. Well, This kid named Tony Moore probably is one guy that's gone, but
I heard he's going to come back for a fifth year. I heard him in.
he gets a COVID year out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's going to play some baseball at Fort Hays, but I think during the fall he's fairly free. So,
what do they need to replace this year?
That's a good start. That's a good start with Tony. They only had 6 seniors from last year. But there were 6. I mean, you can only say this, but like there were 6 pretty good seniors that had significant roles. I mean, starting with Tony Moore, Caden Hoffman, a Shrine Bowl type player. Mason Alderdice, who has been making plays, especially defensively, since his sophomore year. A guy I think they're really going to miss too is Ian Smith. I mean, that guy was, I think Zach referred to him. He's kind of the heart and soul of that defense year in and year out, and a guy that was just completely bought into the system and just wanted to do whatever was necessary to win. And just his tackles alone. So Ian Smith will be missed. Even Caleb Berzer came around as well. So, those are guys that are hard to replace. But, you start with Tony Moore. Obviously talks of, maybe Jason Robinson. Coulter Hahn was, just a freshman last year, but I think they're really, really high on Coulter Hahn and his abilities. Ren Gala, would be one of those possibilities as well in quarterback. But, Jason Robinson probably has, a leg up potentially to get that starting quarterback position. Offensive line is interesting. I just printed my first roster.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was looking for number changes. The only one I see glaring at me right now is Taylor Morales switched from 20 to 8, so he'll be number 8 this year. But offensive line, there's probably a little bit more question on that offensive line than I thought there was going to be this year or coming into the season. But you get Leighton Hoffman back, Colin Motter back, Brady Rife, who after some injuries last year was inserted onto that offensive line. He will start with an O-line number, so he starts with 53, so we know where Brady's going to be. And
what an athlete. You can go from 20 number to 53, yeah.
Yeah, that was impressive last year. So he'll be on that offensive line. After that, Xavier Chambers got thrown into the fire last year, so he's be more experienced. So there's going to be some question on how those guys mesh on the O-line. But, also just formation-wise, I don't know if you're going to see maybe more RPO options, so run-pass option for Jason. If it is Jason Robinson or whatever athlete they put in there, I think you might see those possibilities roll out, run first, if you have a quick dump down second. So, yeah, I think the biggest question be whoever is going to be quarterback, how do they sling it? How do they spin it, as they would say? So, seeing how that develops will be huge.
I like that sweep. Just, run him out on the wing. If nothing's there, just dump it and throw it out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
And just live to pass another day.
Yeah, we saw the maturation of a lot of quarterbacks in Hoisington where they started out and they didn't throw overly well. Even Tony, he only spent 2 years as a starting quarterback at the varsity level, but his junior year, it wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't great. But then by the time his senior year came around, and at the end of it, he's 1,500 yards in his senior year. The best passer in Hoisington history. So, yeah, it comes around, but, it has to develop somewhere, and how many chances they're going to get. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how that develops.
Exciting schedule this year.
Whew.
It's if you want to go see some good football games.
Yeah, it'll be on the road for the first part of the month.
Yeah.
So it's 3 of their first 4 games on the road, 3 of their last 4 games will be at home, but you're starting out at Pratt, and Pratt will be good. Pratt went, 4-5 last year. You can say they took a step back, in 3A, obviously they're hitting Andale in their district, played Holcomb in the first round. They played Cheney last year. So, they had some quality losses, if you will, but, 4-5, but they're kind of in a similar position as Hoisington where they didn't lose much. I think they had 8 seniors, but they had a few more out as a 3A school. Only lost 8 seniors, but one was Max Uni. And Max Uni, single-handedly nearly beat Hoisington on one ankle last year with 190 yards rushing.
Keith Cog in their offense for sure.
Yeah, and then Brock Borges is gone, on the offensive line. So there's some key guys that are gone, but they got a lot of guys coming back. Tay Wilson, I imagine he was kind of the afterthought to Max Uni last year in the backfield. So I imagine he's going to be taking over in more of a, if you want to call it their quarterback position. But Yeah, I mean, I think, Pratt will be solid. Be on the road. Then you come back home with Heston. And then, Southwestern Heights will be in week 4. But then you have that big game against Scott City should be loaded this year, and you're on the road. So, and then Cheney will be tough, in week 5 before you get to the rest of your district games. So, yeah, I mean, the schedule is shaping out to be really good. And then, Larned, you're just kind of curious to see, the second year for Coach Keith and what he's able to do with the Indians. But, yeah, I think it's a fun schedule, especially those first 5 weeks.
Well, Pratt rolled out and all of a sudden switched to a single wing, and it came out and got Larned. Do they switch to something else? No.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Brent Holting's back. I mean, he's in his 6th year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think he's figured out a style that works for Pratt. I mean, they haven't had a ton of playmakers, like, since, Travis Tice, graduated like in 18 or somewhere around there. Like, they haven't had a ton of those playmakers, so I think that style fits. I mean, then you only need, like, 1 or 2 just really good ones, like Max Uni, the Haney kid over the years. Those guys, that fits that style really well.
Well, speaking of Scott City, don't they see them Friday night then?
Yeah, jamboree time.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. I mean, I think a lot of people enjoy the jamborees. I mean, just especially being here in Great Bend, the short distance for Hoisington fans making it over. You can come by, get something to eat before the jamboree starts or whatever, and just have fun going out there and watch. And starting at 6 o'clock, so you're not it's not overly late by any means either. So yeah, I think it works out pretty well.
Who's the 4th team?
It was Hugoton last year, so I'm assuming they'll be coming back. I haven't seen any official, but yeah, I imagine all those 4 teams will be back.
Okay. Just give me. I get the forecast last week. I think maybe that was a great story about Raleigh, North Carolina, by the way. So, what are you feeling here, there, Cole man? About 9 days away or 10 days away from getting this thing underway.
Yeah, I think any start of the season, you have your questions that you want answers to right away. We talked about quarterback. We talked about offensive line. I think the one thing that doesn't get a whole lot of recognition is just how good, their defense could be really salty from the get-go. Because, I mean, in that spot, yeah, losing Caden Hoffman at the nose guard hurts. Tony played safety toward the end of the season in the playoffs, but you bring back a lot of guys that have experience defensively. And then, they've had success over the years just kind of plugging in guys that can get some pressure on the defensive line. But when you start out with, Taryn Kraft, one of your leading tacklers from a year ago, and then obviously what Jason Robinson was able to do in the secondary, but, Mason Martin, Carson Mason on the ends, linebackers, Taylor Morales will be coming back. So, guys like that bring me a lot of hope, defensively, that they could be really good from the get-go. So, and then, hopefully your offense kind of comes along as the season progresses. So, I feel good, but, I mean, that schedule, like we mentioned, I mean, if you're not quite ready, I mean, that schedule's not going to be overly favorable, if you do have some struggles early on. So, but I think that's what Zach and them want. I don't think they have enjoyed, the cupcakes that have just automatically been assigned to their schedule over the years. So they want to play tough competition. You don't want to get hurt, but at the same time, you want to play tough competition because you get in those playoffs and you get to that round 2, sometimes even 3. Like, you want to have that experience.
A kicker back?
Morales, yeah. I mean, Corson, Mike did a story on him over the summer, and he's been, bumping around from camp to camp and kicking camps. So we'll see how much his leg has grown, if you will. So how much they use him, I don't know. But
how much of a weapon if you need it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it proved big. I mean, it was the deciding factor against Norton. It was gave him the 2-score lead, and that felt good hitting the field goal at Norton.
That and trying to force a pass right at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got the range. I mean, I'll be excited to see if they use it a little bit more. But I think in short down distances, Hoisington feels pretty good about the flexible offense to pick up the first, though.
It's nice when you roll that guy out there and hit a 47-yard field goal. I mean, that was a key play in that Pratt game a couple of years ago. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll traipse along here and
we'll have more report on that.
Okay, you didn't print that in color, did you?
No, I went black and white. So yeah, I was trying to look at any.
They took the coffee machine away. I think we need to take away. The color. The color.
Well, then it would just go to OPI. So I don't think OPI wants to expend.
All right, Cole. Thanks a bunch.
You bet.
Cole Reif, voice of the Hoiston Cardinals and the Barton Cougars. Speaking of Barton Cougars, Barton Volleyball off to a fast start. Megan Bessaker and Phoebe Reyes joins us next here in the Mayo Money Management Studio.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Strite, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Some days, a classic. Other days, a dud, but never a dull moment. It's Sports Day on KVGB, presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Yeah, a lot of great sponsors on the program, including Animal Medical Center joining the Sports Day family. Animal Medical Center, big or small, they take care of them all. Glad to have Doc Nels and the entire crew on board here for Sports Day. Good start for the Barton Lady Cougar volleyball team as they jump out of the gate and, well, cruise through the Scooters Coffee Invitational hosted by Garden City Community College over the weekend. And Megan Bessaker joins us right now. Also, All-American sophomore Phoebe Reyes in studio with us today. Always nice way to get there's you have a lot of hype and everybody's excited, and then you go out and back it up that first weekend. Pretty good.
Yes, it was a great weekend. Of course, 4 wins, but dominating wins, and I think everyone played very well this weekend.
Okay, and you got a win over a ranked team. Number 6, Navarro. Took care of business there.
We did. The girls came out very focused. I don't think I've ever seen us play that well as a team, which is nice to see the first weekend out. But we had a game plan. They followed it very well, and everyone played their role. The energy was great. The bench was great. It was just a really good game.
You kind of showed, we expected you to have a very deep team, and that was very evident over the weekend.
It was.
Everybody came out and it looked like they had a good game.
They did. Everyone got some playing time. We ran a lot of different rotations. We seen some different looks that we can throw at people. It was just a really good all-around weekend for everybody.
Phoebe Reyes back with us here, and wow, back again for another round. I know you guys were confident going in. Did it go even better than what you had hoped for an opening weekend?
I feel like it was like everything we expected. Like we all had the same mindset. Like we were going to do whatever we needed to do, and like we went for it and we did it.
You had an interesting summer, Phoebe. Tell me about where you got to travel and representing your country. That had to be pretty neat.
Well, yeah, like it was a pretty busy summer. Being with the national team was such a great experience. Going to Canada and playing against so many good players here in the U.S. and from different places. It was such a great experience.
How did you qualify for that? Or how did you get chosen for that team? I mean, was it made up of, tell me about the selection process.
Well, I've been with them before. When I was back in high school, I went to Oklahoma for a World Championship classificatory tournament, and we also made a team, but I didn't get to go to that tournament because I came here to Barton for my first year.
Mm-hmm.
But for this tournament, I was texted by a coach of the national team, and he asked me like if I was available to go over the summer and participate with the team in that tournament. And I asked Coach Megan, and it was a positive answer. And of course, I went. Like I remember that I got to my home country in a Saturday, and Monday right away I was practicing with them. I was kind of nervous, of course, because they were like most of the great players that we get to see over here in the U.S. as well. Like many of them are over here, and it was like super exciting for me.
Were you nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going on, but so you're nervous going in. You're playing with all these great players, but once you get in, did you feel your confidence build after being around that and showing that you can compete with those people as well?
Well, yeah, I had the type of mindset that I have to give my everything, like, to be able to make the team. Like, they have so many good players there practicing the whole year. And it was like bringing someone else that was out of the country. Like, of course, the competitivity was high. And I just thought, well, I have to be aggressive. I have to give my all. And I have to work hard to be able to make the team.
Okay, I want you to look back in the sports day time machine. Look back to this time a year ago when freshman Phoebe had been on campus for what? Just a little bit of time compared to, how you feel this year and the comfort level you have this year.
Well, now I feel much more confident. Like, now I have more clear ideas of what we need to do as a team and individually, of course. I understand the demands that my team has for me and the same that I have for them. And I think, like, that's such a great change on my mindset.
What about just being familiar with, you're coming out here, the middle of the country or like landing on the moon, I guess, coming in here. You got to feel more comfortable there just knowing your way around.
Well, in the past, I wasn't too much scared of being here in the middle of United States because before I was in Florida and I was a little bit further home. So now I like being a little bit more further is not like that scary.
Yeah, well, we're glad you came back. What do you like the most about this year's team?
I don't know, like we all I feel like we're more united as a team. Like in the last year we were we were teammates, but we weren't like that much friends. Now I feel like we are great teammates and good friends to each other.
Cassidy was in on the show last week and talked about, she was wondering whether she was going to come back or not, and she wanted to be part of this. Did you have, say, Cassidy, you want to come back and play a little bit? You part of the recruitment process, getting the Central Plains Oiler back here?
I of course wanted her to come back. I feel like she's such an essential piece on our team. Like, I see her as a great leader that I had last year. Like, she gave me a lot of confidence, and I feel like having her on court is as well a lot of confidence, like having her.
Phoebe Reyes with us, All-American for the Barton Lady Cougars. Also Megan Bessiker with us. And I know you want to play somewhere after this year. So how do you balance that and taking care of business? Because I know you guys have goals, get the national tournament, do big things this year, yet also think about, your plans for next year.
Well, first of all, my main focus right now is our season, my team, and what we're working on right now. And of course, I'm giving time to my recruitment process, but first now comes my team. And they have given me all the support. All that I have achieved is because of them. So it makes no sense that they gave their all for me and I don't give my all for them.
How do you find this one, Megan? That was pretty good land for you last year coming in your first year, right?
It was. Phoebe's been great. We still talk about her recruiting story just a little bit. It was very random, and, it happened all very quickly. And when she said she wanted to come to Barton, I was a little shocked. Like you said, it's a good land, and the team was coming off not so great of a finish in the conference. And so for her to choose us and buy in to our program has been really special, and you can see how much of a team player she is. And she's always positive. Every day comes in, she's ready to go. Her recruitment process is going well, but like she said, she's very focused on our season this year, and she'll take her visits and things after. But yeah, she's great.
So what made the difference when it came down and you finally said, I'm gonna go to Barton?
Well, I feel like it was more like a gut feeling. I talked with Coach Megan, and she mentioned many different stuff about Barton, and specifically not having classes on Fridays.
There you go.
But it was more of a good feeling, and I said, like, I talked with my mom, like, I told her, like, yeah, I want to go to Barton. I don't know what's special about it, and she asked me, like, why do you want to go? And I said, I don't know. I just feel like going over there, and, like, it was...
So you'll trust your gut in the future, right? I mean, that's, you're doing pretty good right now with your choice. So,
yeah.
What's this young lady mean to your program, Megan?
She means a lot. She means a lot, but also just her class that came in last year. We talk a lot about the freshman class from last year that's now sophomores that kind of came in and turned everything around and set a new culture and expectation for our program. And it all starts with Phoebe. Obviously, she does great on the court, but when your best player is working hard every day and your best player is giving it their all, it encourages others to do that around her. And so she means a lot, and she'll definitely be remembered even after this year just for helping our program out tremendously.
Can't find another year or anything?
We can't. Phoebe is young, though. Phoebe just turned 18 in March, right?
Yeah.
So she's a young one. Last year, the whole season, she was 17. So it's crazy to think of the things she did as a 17-year-old her freshman year.
Very mature young lady, for sure. Okay. This weekend comes the Victory Electric Classic in Dodge City. So you get Frank Phillips College, Panola, Eastern Arizona, and also Midland and Otero.
Yes.
There you go. Let's see what's going to happen this weekend. More good competition for sure.
Yes, more. We open with Frank Phillips. We seen a little bit of them last weekend. We didn't play them, but they were at the tournament that we were at. And then Friday is going to be super competitive. We play Panola, who's in a good Texas conference. They battled it out with Colby last weekend, went to 5 sets. Colby ended up winning over them. But Eastern Arizona, they're kind of the big target this weekend. They went 4-1 last weekend against some really good teams. They beat Weatherford, who's number 7, and then they beat Odessa, who's number 8. Their only loss of the weekend was to number 9 Indian Hills, and it was a very close loss. So we have another test this weekend. I think the good thing about our schedule this year is, last year when I built the schedule, we had 4 people on the roster, so we went we didn't go as competitive as we probably should have, and this year we're going super competitive, trying to prepare us for conference. The conference overall did really well this weekend at a lot of the preseason tournaments, and so we're just trying to play the best competition we can to get ready for what's to come the next couple months.
Good test this weekend. Team excited, Phoebe?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. So this weekend, and then when's the home opener? Is it
next Wednesday? We play Butler.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll have you back in next Tuesday, and we can get a preview of that.
And that's a big one. We talked a little bit about it last weekend, but Butler's always at the top of the conference, and then the girls still hold a little bit of a grudge. Last year, they're who beat us out in the region tournament, was our only home regular season loss. So to have to open with them is like, wow, we have to open with one of the best teams in the conference, but it's also everyone's ready to go and they're motivated, and we really want that win, and they can't wait to play at home in front of our home crowd and students and everybody else.
Fantastic. Phoebe, thanks for coming in today. Good luck this weekend. Thanks, Megan, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Perfect.
Barton Volleyball Chat here today on Sports Day. Mike Corson going on the prowl. Lyles Lashley in to talk Gray Bend Panther cross country. That's next here on KVGB.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Gray Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimse.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined Special Tuesday with Great Bend High School cross country coach Lyles Lashley. You know why we weren't on yesterday, Coach?
What was that? The Royals had a doubleheader yesterday, and they swept.
They swept, so they are now a game out of the central lead heading into tonight's game, so may have some breaking news at about 9 o'clock tonight. So
that'd be sweet.
Way more important than preseason cross country, just kidding.
Wow, I see how you are, Corson. I see how you are.
Of course, you're very important. One more thing on the kind of the international scene, obviously the Olympics. We talked last week about Cole Hawker winning that crazy 1500, but I want to know how Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the Norwegian, comes out the next 2 weeks, just lights everybody up, including Cole Hawker last week, sets the world record in the 3K Sunday in Poland. In the running world, once you miss something, whether it's a chance at a 4-minute mile or a chance at a gold medal, what's the recuperation time, or how's he able to run at a premium level like that for about 2 weeks?
I think he, that in the 1500 in the Olympics, I think he did so much work. I mean, that was his idea, goal was to do that, but I just think he did so much work, and everybody just reacted off of him. That's a world-class field that was behind him. And then, he didn't have to do all the work of that 3K. They had rabbits. Of course, he took the lead early. I mean, they couldn't hold the pace. The rabbits could barely hold the pace he was running. And, they also have those pacer lights, too, on those Diamond League meets. So I think that definitely helped. I think he's definitely holding on to a peak coming along here, so that's pretty amazing. But, those Norwegians, they train, they're the ones that first started the lactate threshold training where, they're testing their blood levels, all being practiced, the hard thing, and then everybody's kind of bought into what they've been doing, so they've really changed the way the world looks at training for distance running.
And I think you might be onto something. You guys got the brand new track at Great Bend High School. Probably get some wave lights in the next couple of years and have some really marquee meets.
Absolutely. I bet that only costs about $500,000.
It's a fantastic system because it's like it's a trip to watch them and understand that the computer doesn't care what the time is. It's just doing what it's told versus the runners trying to keep up. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
But big track and field world or cross country world coming to Barton County here pretty soon. September 5th, be next Thursday. This cross country meet of yours, this continues to grow.
Yeah, we're looking bringing in 25 teams this year. We have some really big powerhouses. I mean, we got the two best girls in the state coming from South Central, obviously, and then we picked up Junction City. We picked Bishop Carroll's going to be there. A 3A power Southeast Swing's going to be there along with Holcomb, who probably is the favorite in the boys' side 3A. For state this year, the most they got returning. And then we have Garden City, of course, Beaver, who's, won 4A quite a few years in a row. And then throwing, Junction, Louisville. It's going to be just a spectacular meeting with 25 teams in there.
And probably it gets a little easier every time you've done so many regionals. You get the home meet. But what about the community effort? You're getting volunteers out there. You got grounds people taking care to make it tip-top so everybody wants to come here. Just how nice that this thing, it hasn't died. It's getting bigger.
It's great because, our grounds people does a great job. Speaking of community members, we still need quite a few volunteers. So if you guys listen and want to volunteer, get a hold of me. We definitely need some more volunteers for that. But, just the thought of, 25 teams being here. Then we have, 16 middle school teams. So that's 41 teams, basically. That'll be here in Great Bend. They'll be eating when they're done in Great Bend for the most part, because most of them won't be heading north. And so it's just that'd be great for the community to be able to have money to pour into the community too. So we're excited about that. We're excited about having the quality of teams out there, being able to compete against them, and bringing them to our wonderful course.
Talking to Great Bend cross-country coach Lyles Lashley, what about the timeline? I know we never know. Sometimes it's 100 degrees at this thing, sometimes 80. What's the schedule like?
We will start the first varsity race at 9 a.m. We're privileged to be able to host it that in the morning on Thursday. That definitely helped us draw teams beside our course. Me itself being able to host at that time. We'll have the varsity girls at 9 and the varsity boys at 9:30. Then we'll have our JV races and the combined CT. Our awards will be around 11:50, and then we'll start the middle school at 1 and try to get them done before the heat of the afternoon comes.
We will talk real quick about some of the athletes you have coming back. Briefly mentioned them last week, but obviously some of the big, the girls last year were right there in the mix for a state title, got second place. A lot of those kids are coming back. Curious, when you lose a group of those seniors that maybe were almost like pacers, how does this group that's now the leading class come in with expectations this year?
Well, the class that graduated last year definitely prepared them to take over as leaders. We lost basically 4 of our top 6 girls from last year, so it was, obviously a devastating loss. But last year we were fortunate to have a lot of depth. We had 10 girls that could run, and we probably could have been state runner-up with any of those 10 girls in there. So we have a good group coming back, but those girls that graduated definitely have taught these girls how to be leaders and how to carry on our team process.
And obviously competition, you kind of know times and stuff based off practices, but how fun to always get this first meet under your belt, see some competition, and see where you stand.
Yeah, it's just, some of those kids have just put in a long summer, and it's a grind that summer months because you don't get a whole lot of rewards for it. You just sit there and work and work and work, and now finally you get to compete and see your hard work pay off.
Great Bend High School cross-country coach Lyles Lashley still needs some volunteers for next Thursday. That's September 5th, the cross-country meet out at Lake Barton. Get in touch with Coach if you would like to volunteer and be a part of that. Coach, good luck to you. We will see you out there.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for everything.
More Sports Day after this.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with a low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
For the past 13 years, Sports Day has been the show devoted to local sports and local athletes. And it's all brought to you by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Indeed, also brought to you in part by Equity Bank, your hometown sports partner. Visit one of their 5 local area banks in Great Bend, Larned, Maxville, and St. John, equitybank.com. The Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street, and the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend. Mike Hesher back with us here for the final segment today. Yeah, I checked number 3.
I move around all the time.
You sit in a different place all the time.
I want to make sure the camera gets a good view of me this time.
Okay, all right. Royals tonight. You were up doing technical things last time. So
yes.
You sounded like you were just ready to kick the football on the Royals right now.
I think the Royals are going to be, you really look at it. If you get into the point where if they don't make the playoffs, you're going to be disappointed because of what you talked about. There's 5 or 6 game lead over Boston for that final wild card spot.
Well, they're ahead of Minnesota now.
I know. So that's fantastic. So that's what I'm saying. But now you're thinking,
well, let's get
the division. Let's get greedy.
22-13 since the All-Star break.
And you said something about Cleveland was 0 for 8 in doubleheaders.
Yeah, how about that?
I was listening to Cleveland broadcasters. I thought they said 0 for 4. Not that I'm trying to correct you on that, but still, they haven't won a doubleheader. They've been swept that many times.
Well, that'd be 0 for 4, 0.
Oh, okay. They've been swept 4 times. Ah, okay. We're on the same page then. See,
the record's 0 and 8.
Okay, gotcha.
But probably it'd been better to say the other way around. So thank you for your usual correction stuff. 5 o'clock today for the Royals.
That is correct, 5 o'clock.
4 o'clock for the news hour. Okay, college football gets going. The Big 12 with 16 teams. Look at that schedule.
That's not right. I'm sorry.
Thursday night, New Hampshire at Central Florida. Lindenwood at Kansas at Sporting Park. We'll have more on that game tomorrow and Thursday. North Dakota State at Colorado. Do you want to make a bet on that game right now?
I do. I'm not.
You've got to see you Buffs.
I'm a Buffalo basketball fan. I am not a CU. I do not like Deion Sanders.
Boy, I tell you what, that is a dangerous opener for
Boy, you're
anybody.
not kidding.
North Dakota State at Colorado. Southern Utah at Utah, the Big 12 favorite.
That'd be cool.
Friday, TCU opens their season at historic Stanford Stadium. Have you ever been to Palo Alto and Stanford University? Anyway,
I have not.
That's an inside joke around Sports Day. Okay, Saturday, an early start, 11 a.m., Penn State and West Virginia. We'll have that game for you here on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, starting at 10:30. Then we'll have Royals baseball, 5:30 against Houston, as that 4-game series will be underway. South Dakota State, the Jacks, in Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State. Townsend at Cincinnati. North Dakota at Iowa State. Tarleton State at Baylor. Tennessee Martin at Kansas State. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. It'll be available on everyone's favorite ESPN Plus platform. UNLV at Houston. Abilene Christian at Texas Tech. Southern Illinois at BYU.
And this is all Big 12.
New Mexico at number 21 Arizona, and Wyoming at Arizona State.
Jeez.
Nothing really excites me there.
I was going to say how much money's been exchanged there. Right? How much money are the small schools taking from the big schools?
I don't. The one that has me most intrigued is the Bison
at CU.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Just because
they're bad boys up there. Any place you go to the Fargo Dome and you look out in the parking lot, there's a tractor crossing. I swear. It's just like a deer crossing.
Any time of year.
And and it's got a guy on there with a big tractor.
Well, it is North Dakota.
Fargo Dome. Hesh will talk to you on Thursday.
Thursday.
Here on Sports Day on KVGB.